OnePlus 12 is the second best phone of the year for me, at least in the United States. And I have to put a parentheses around that because I'm not including like the Vivo X200 Pro that came out recently, not including like the Oppo Find X8 Pro, any of that stuff. They're just too recent. Also, most people that watch my videos don't know what they are. So here in the United States, OnePlus 12, second best. I said the Pixel 9 Pro, Pro XL is number one. OnePlus 12, I think, is number two. And then when you take a look at other phones like the S24 Ultra, I would safely say is number three. And then from there, you got to look at some other phones. Like I think the Motorola Razr Plus 2024, probably number four. Z Fold 6, probably number five. And then I think gracefully at maybe number six, we have the iPhone 16 Pro, Pro Max. And that's not just because I'm an Android fan. I think the iPhone 16 series legitimately has issues. I think the camera control is stupid. It's had a lot of software issues since it's come out. It's not even a complete phone. Apple Intelligence is maybe halfway there, right? So there's some objective criteria you got to look at there. But the OnePlus 12, why? Why am I picking the OnePlus 12? And a lot of it has to do with value. So I'm not immune to the way the economy has been the last couple of years. Things are expensive. Things are more expensive than they've ever been, I think. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much it costs. Shoot, it's like $6 for a dozen eggs. So when you take a look at phones, and you take a look at flagship phones, you got a $999 iPhone 16 Pro, $1099 iPhone 16 Pro Max, or is it $11.99? Yeah, I guess. And $12.99 S24 Ultra. You've got even the Pixel 9 Pro, $999, Pixel 9 Pro XL, $10.99. So when you look at the big dogs, you look at the phones at the upper echelon and what they offer, you have this shiny ray of hope right here. And you can currently get it for $549 for the 256 model. That's fantastic. To be able to get flagship level performance, it's got great gaming performance. It's got all the same hardware basically under the skin that the Samsung does. UFS 4. It's got over a 5,000 milliamp battery. Actually, out of the class, it has the biggest battery, 5,400 milliamp. So bigger than the Samsung, bigger than the Apple, bigger than the Google. So you got a bigger battery, got a great modem, great connectivity, super fast charging, right? It's like 100-watt charging, 50-watt wireless charging. Granted, the IP rating is not fully 1.67 or 6.8. I don't really care that much because I don't go throw my phone in the water, but I get it. I mean, it should be a flagship spec. But when you take a look at it, and then you still get 5 years of support, Oxygen OS is good. I like Oxygen OS. It's nice. It's fast. It's zippy. It makes for a really enjoyable experience with the phone. It's a nice alternative to people who don't want to use iOS or use One UI with Samsung, who don't trust Google and don't want a Tensor. So when you take a look at this guy right here, it's sleek. It's still got the curved edge display. It's got the Hasselblad cooperation. The cameras are very good. If you take a look at them objectively, take some shots, it takes really good photos. It's got the alert slider switch. That's also a nicety. Beautiful looking phone, several different colors. And the soft touch finish, it's a really nice phone. Elegant, premium, great speakers on this thing, and it's got a beautiful, beautiful screen on it. So if you are in the market for a flagship phone, it's a great alternative. And it's an alternative to the best phone of the year. It's the runner-up. And I could say the S23 Ultra is in a lot of ways very closely behind the Pixel. Of course, the S24 Ultra, it also has the S Pen, it has DeX, it has things like that. Both of the phones of like the S24 Ultra and the Pixel, 7 years of support. You don't get that here. But think of this. Like even on sale right now, the S24 Ultra is $999, which is good. I mean, $300 cheaper than the MSRP of $1299, but $549. Like it's still $400 cheaper when they're on sale. So that's the big thing for me. I mean, when you take a look at a lot of the phones, yeah, the OnePlus camera, maybe it comes in fourth. But when you come in fourth in a stack of things with names mentioned like the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, iPhone 16 Pro Max, that's good company to be in. That's not a bad race to run fourth in. We've gotten so good with smartphone cameras. And, of course, they've even got 8K video now. That's pretty cool. The color science is really good. They've come a long way. Like, their cameras are better. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying they're number one or even number two. But the overall experience across the board, flagship performance, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. And one thing I know that people are happy about, there hasn't been a lot of conversation about AI. I think when this phone came out, especially earlier this year, people were really getting to the point where they hear the word AI, it's like nausea inducing. It's getting better, and AI stuff is getting better. It's going to take some time before it becomes really relevant for most people. So most folks, I think, associate it with just a buzzword. And I think that's probably accurate in most cases. Some of it is useful, some of it is meaningful. But for most people, for the common man, the elusive average consumer that people like to speak for on behalf of all the time, I think that for most people, AI just doesn't mean anything in the phone sector yet. And OnePlus really kind of avoided that from the get-go. There are a few AI tools on here, but very limited. And of course, you can get Gemini. So Gemini is an option on here. So if you want to use some of that stuff, that's cool. But some people want a phone that works. They want smooth, fast performance. They want a nice screen. They want great battery life. And they want flagship specs. And that's this, written all over it. And then you want affordability, great price point. I mean, we were talking about yesterday or day before yesterday, I made a video about the Pixel 9 Pro XL being on sale for $849. Still $300 cheaper. So many of these phones compete very closely on very small margins, and there's just nothing that competes at this price point. I mean, for Pete's sake, the Pixel 9a, when it comes out in a few months, is going to be $500. So that's one of the strong things. I mean, and it's a good phone all around. I've seen some people that say the OnePlus 12 is their phone of the year. And everybody is entitled to their opinion, their own criteria, things like that. I'm not going to really ding anyone for their phone of the year choice unless you pick the same phone basically 3 years in a row and you're using a different phone than saying another phone is your favorite phone. Like, it's interesting for somebody to say, yeah, the phone in my pocket is a Pixel 9 Pro XL, but the phone of the year is the S24 Ultra that I'm not using. So anyway, while wearing an Apple Watch. Anyway, I'm not going to ding anyone on that. Like, I've even got an Apple Watch on right now. It's, I carry two phones, so it goes to my other phone. Sometimes I wear my Galaxy Watch Ultra. Most of that stuff I'm just kind of picking fun at. But anyway, yeah, the OnePlus 12, I don't think it's phone of the year. Like, value factors into the equation greatly for me. When I talk about phones and videos and things like that, I always want to find the best value. I want to find the best bang for the buck. It's not always, hey, go out and buy the $2,000 phone. You could buy the $2,000 phone. Buy whatever you want. YOLO, right? I mean, these aren't even carriers. You can get them at Best Buy. You can get them at Amazon. So, I mean, there are pros and cons for each device that's out there. But when things are competing so closely together, and then you have something that is extremely good value and offers most, if not better than most, in many different categories, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I'm like, yeah, I think this is the runner-up. I think this is the second best phone of the year. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Being second is fine. I mean, I'm the second oldest out of 9 siblings. So, number 2 is not bad. I got a soft spot in my heart for the number 2 guy. But OnePlus does some good stuff. And I've seen a lot of things about the OnePlus 13. The OnePlus 13 looks like it's going to be a fantastic phone too. And we're competing in such close margins nowadays. It's not like before where it's like, you got to get a Samsung or your phone's going to suck in the Android world. You got to get an iPhone or your phone's not going to be very good. Long gone are those days. Nowadays, it's like, okay, so many phones. I mean, they've got the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 in it. It's not like when the Samsung Galaxy S8 came out and it had the Snapdragon 835, which was revolutionary at the time. And it's funny because back then, Samsung's chip manufacturing plants were actually very reputable. Did you know that the Samsung Galaxy S8, Qualcomm relied on Samsung and their foundry to make the chips because they didn't have capacity to make enough chips. So as part of that deal, the Samsung Galaxy S8 got solely and exclusively the 835 first, which actually screwed over LG really bad because LG ended up making the LG G6, which is a very good phone, but they couldn't release it with the Snapdragon 835. They had to put the 821 in it because the S8 hadn't come out yet. See, back then, the LG phones came out before the Samsung phones, and now Samsung releases their phones in January, right? Back then, LG put theirs out first in like February, early March. So, yeah, they got screwed, and they were playing catch-up for a long time after that. And the Snapdragon 821 was not a good chip. and it was pretty good, but it had issues, and it had more heat issues, and the 835 was like the next level. So yeah, the chips, they do matter. And back then, Samsung's chip foundry was much more reputable. But anyway, yeah, they're all pretty much on the same page now. Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, we're right on the fence waiting for the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. So when you take a look at it, reliability, performance, I wish it had monthly security patches. I will keep fighting for this and complaining about it until it happens. I've talked directly to the people at OnePlus, and I'm like, please give us monthly security patches. That would be a big jump for them. But anyway, I think it's very safe to say, I mean, everybody fights over first. Second place, nobody really fights over it all that much. So I don't think I'm going to have a lot of people fighting me saying this is the second best phone. Most of the phones that are in second place, a lot of times people will have them as their first place phone. It just depends on what you care about, what you prioritize, your audience, whether Tim Cook flies out and slips money under your doorstep. I don't know. It just, there's a lot. One is hotly contested, two never is. And I think the OnePlus 12, very good phone, got a lot of legs left in it, got a lot of life left in this phone. Excellent device, and I think you'll be happy if you're in the market to get one. Again, $549, crazy cheap. And also, I did this in my last video. If you've got a OnePlus 12, I'd love to get some feedback from you in the comments, because new people watch these videos, right? So people want to hear more than just me. They want to see more than just me and my receding hairline and my grizzly beard. Gristly, not grizzly. I need to go get it trimmed up again. But yeah, if you've got one of these, or you switched to one of these phones, sound off in the comments. What do you like about it? How good has it been? Do you like the phone? Are you happy with it? Do you think that I'm onto something here with it being second best phone of the year? I think user comments and feedback in these videos, I think it helps out people who are looking for them. So sound off in the comment section. Tell me how you feel about yours, if you like. If it's bad, leave it there too. Not everybody has a perfect experience. So if you got bad stuff, leave it there too. I always like to present the good, the bad, the indifferent, things like that, so people can make informed decisions whenever they're buying stuff or looking at new products. So that's all I got. Any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.